So as countries begin to drop the US dollar, foreigners will have less demands for dollars, meaning they no longer want these. So you can bet that interest rates and treasury yields will continue to rise. There will be higher prices and a weaker dollar, and it will become worth less, and the dollar's purchasing power will be degraded. Now, it won't happen overnight, but however, I believe that de-dollarization is happening, and you only need to think of what happened to the Great Brits after World War II. And yes, its currency as well. Although it was still a major reserve currency, its influence decreased greatly, and colonies were lost. Dollars actually became their currency of choice. Hong Kong, for instance, adopted the Hong Kong dollar, formerly known as the sterling area, and they left it. Now, in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, Britain was a shadow of itself. A great deal of industry was lost in Britain, and there was a great deal of inflation during that time. And there was obviously nothing great about that. Now, in my opinion, the United States is about to face the same fate. The improvement won't take 2 or 3 decades, and it's not the end of the dollar per se, but the importance of the dollars is quickly diminishing. I think this is very significant. Now, this happened a couple weeks ago, and here's what happened. It actually came out of Fox Business. Brazil and China strike a deal agreement to ditch the US dollar. But I actually first saw it here, and I recommend that you follow perhaps Gold Telegraph on Twitter if you are in fact on Twitter. So let's go through what they said this morning, or back 2 weeks ago. And this is how I got the story because I got a notification. Brazil and China. Here's a brief recap. In just 3 months in 2021, Brazil's gold reserves surged nearly 1%. Today, it now holds nearly 130 tons of gold. And I don't think that's enough, by the way. A notable shift in Brazil's foreign reserve strategy was reported by the Central Bank of Brazil in March 2022. The central bank said that it had quadrupled its foreign reserves in Chinese yuan while reducing its holdings of US dollars and euros. China began importing corn from Brazil toward the end of 2021 in a bid to diversify its sources, thereby lessening its reliance on the U.S., world's largest corn exporter. As of January this year, China was Brazil's largest importer of corn. Brazil is currently the third largest corn producer in the world. Now, Brazil's president hinted at the possibility of creating a shared currency for the Brits nations earlier this year. And the world also learned that Argentina and Brazil had discussed launching a common currency, the move seen as a way to minimize dependencies on the US dollar. Now, Brazil and Argentina have the two largest economies in South America. So Brazil and China have agreed to ditch the US dollar in favor of their own currencies in trade transactions. By reaching an agreement, China and Brazil will be able to conduct direct trade and financial transactions without having to convert their currencies to dollars first. Now, that trend is very real and everyone can see it. I think we're in for a real wild ride. But now my question is which country will be next to drop the dollar? And I believe that could actually in fact be Japan, and some may see that as crazy talk and might say that Japan is part of the G7 nations and NATO. And the country of Japan is a massive trading partner with the United States. However, Japan themselves has sent major warnings. It was about 3 months ago when they said due to the free fall of their currency, we will, in order to maintain our yen strength or prevent it from collapsing, they would sell U.S. Treasury bonds to buy yen to stabilize the yen. And that's a very serious matter. Our bond market would go crazy if a major trading partner like Japan and a major holder of our bonds starts liquidating. It would cause rates to skyrocket. And I guess it's just a matter of time and a guessing game who will be the next domino, the next country to drop the US dollar. I think now is the time to prepare. And what's a better way to prepare? Well, I would start getting into this kind of asset right here, silver. It will be your life vest. That's it for now. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you in the next one.